Hey, Shalom, I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakak, double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth. While sincerity, this is a quick one on this article here. It says Trump's military drops a bomb every 12 minutes and no one is talking about it. Right, and that's this geezer Lee Camp. Right, but hey, this is just the nature of Esau. This is, you know, hey, people like to say Trump's this, Trump's this. Ultimately, Trump has, you know, people above him, right? You know, it says Trump's military drops a bomb every 12 minutes. Right, that's, you be like, well, that's just the MO of Esau. That's what the scriptures describe him as. Right, that he would come and take peace from the earth. So I'll get this in Revelation 6:4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. Right, so a horse that was red, you know, that's referring to Esau, because Esau's the red one. Right, it says, what do you call it? And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. And that great sword, you know, the modern day sword is these, you know, these weaponry that you see today, these missiles, you know, well, mainly these missiles. Right, you know, the ICBM being the greatest, what you call it, of those, you know, a great sword. Right, all of his military hardware. Right, all of these killing instruments that he has. Right, that's what was given to him. You know, when you read the blessing of in Genesis, that what you call it, Isaac gave to Esau. Right, it says Genesis 27:39 says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold. In fact, let me get this, verse 38 says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept like a little bitch, because these times, right, he sold his birthright, right, and then he, you know, he tried to what do you call it? Then he wants to start crying about it, right? Let me get that. That says Hebrews 12:16 says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So this is the guy that's in charge of the world. Right, he sold his birthright for a morsel of meat and then had the nerve to try and cry about it. Right, it says, for ye know how that afterward when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Right, and that's the nature of this devil, right? Because he'll do this, he'll do that, right? And he'll try to get one over you, because, you know, with these slick words, these crying. There was an article out about white women tears, you know, one of the publications over here, I believe in the UK, right? But how they use those tears to basically manipulate people. Right, in fact, when you had that example of that white lady calling the cops on those jakes that were having a barbecue, she immediately employed that tactic, just started crying. Right, it makes me think of this as well. Psalms 55:21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Right, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right, and that's what you see from this devil. He'll come all nice and be like, oh, hey, how you doing, this, that, and the other. But really, right, really war is in his heart. Really, he's planning to kill. Right, we go back to Genesis, what do you call it? And in fact, it goes on to that in verse 41. So let me finish this. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. Right, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. Right, but the point there is, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Right, and that's what Esau's been doing. He's been going around, you know, with the sword, you know, taking peace from the earth. Right, and listen to what he says. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning from my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right, you see that's the same thing here. Right, hey, he'll be doing all of this, that, and the other, but what does it say? In his heart. Right, in his heart. Read that again. The point there is, but he said in his heart, right, all of this, but then I will slay my brother Jacob. So he was meditating that murder in his heart, just like how you do business with this guy. He will speak all nicely to you, but in his heart, man, he ain't got nothing for you, man. And let me get this as well. He got nothing for you but death. This is Sirach 12:10. Says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Yes, never trust your enemy, right? It says, though he humble himself and grow crouching, take good heed and beware of him, right? And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass, for thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So yeah, you see him for the devil that he really is, right? You know, he'll be humble. Hey man, you know, Scripture says, you know, take good heed and beware of him. Right, it says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in that place. Right, you see that in these Arab nations, man. Esau goes over there. You know, look at Gaddafi, man. You have pictures of him and Blair. Right, if I remember correctly, right, him and Blair, Tony Blair, right, all pally, all friends, this, that, and the other, right. But then, what you call it? When he had overthrown Gaddafi, they set up one of their puppets to stand in his place. Right? It says, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take that seat, and now at the last remember thy words and be pricked therewith. Right? So basically, don't have this devil anywhere near you. But like I said, this is just the nature of Esau. Right? If he has reasons to, to want something in your land, hey man, good on you, because he's going to send them Tomahawk missiles, man. Hey, look at Syria. Even with Russia's backing, they still sent missiles into Syria, man. But it's only because of Russia, another Edomite nation with military power, the great sword, right, that they didn't go out there and just flat out destroy Syria. Right, says Micah 2 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand, and they cover fields and take them by violence. And that's how you do this. That's how it's done. Right? And hey, as the thought is in my head, let me get it now. And those bombs, they're damaging for the earth, man. Here it is, for instance, you got those depleted uranium rounds that Esau uses, right, which is basically making his own soldiers sick. You've got the nuclear missiles, for fuck's sake. All of those tests, they've defiled the earth. Right, it says Isaiah 24:5 says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Right, so the script going into the fact that the earth is defiled. Right, and who's the current ruler is Esau, and the earth is defiled under this devil. All right, the earth is crying, man. In Revelation 11:18, it says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So there's going to be a recompense for the destruction of the earth that's gone on under this man's rulership. Right? Coveting fields and taking them by violence. Right? As as read there, so back in Micah 2:2 says, and they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right? Habakkuk 2:12 says, woe to him that buildeth a town of blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. Right? And Esau's built this town, he built his kingdom off of blood. Right? He's gone around just dropping bombs wherever he wills. Right? And the end of Numbers 35:33 says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Right? So here is Esau. That's really, first things first. That's on, all the blood of Jake that Esau spilled. These heathens have spilled. Right, but then with these Edomites, it's the blood of all the other heathen nations that they've spilled. Right, because at the end of the day, those heathens are our heathens. Those are Israel's heathens, man. Right, because those nations were meant to be slaves under us. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to get into that real quick. Right. And yeah, Lord's will, that was edifying. Till the next time, I say shalom.